Hey everyone, JSD Cool here, and welcome to another episode of Cool Crap Season 5. In the last episode, I built this you can't see anything. I built this giant map art of my skin here, and after that I, added some paths here. In this episode, I am going to continue, at least to start with, doing the map arts that I at one point promised, but can't find the clip of me promising to do. So anyhow, this next one requires a ton of wool, so I've come over here to the wool shop and I've started to acquire the wool. But it also, despite being made mostly of wool, does require some other resources as well. The next resource that I need is gold blocks. It's, well, 3 shulker boxes on them, so okay, of course, we're at the gold farm, which I've actually had a chunk loading grid here too, just so that if I die or get disconnected for whatever reason while using it, it won't, just destroy itself. But yeah, I definitely can't store 3 shulker boxes of gold blocks in these chests. All these hoppers, probably, but these chests, certainly not. And I don't actually have all these chests full, only up to about here right now, so I think I'm gonna have to do some AFKing here. Yeah, that's pretty pitiful in the amount of gold I have here, so yeah, I might actually go and expand this storage a little bit more so that when I AFK I hopefully get as much as possible without having to, reload it or take the stuff out every 5 minutes and craft it down. But yeah, definitely gonna have to AFK here a bunch. Oh, as it also appears, I also require a couple shulker boxes of yellow wool for this project as well, so that's great. Yes, more money to charity, cool. And the final thing that we're going to need for this project is 8 stacks of emerald blocks, and yeah, that means we're gonna have to go find all these villagers for a little bit of something. I have acquired all of the gold and theory that I'm going to need for this. This took a while, and discovering that there's a mod that I have, I don't know which one it is, but a mod has a memory leak that causes my game to crash if I AFK at the gold farm for too long. So yeah, that's fun. Now I just need to finish getting all the emeralds. Alright, I have acquired the 8 stacks of emeralds that I need for this. And with that, I have all the materials now, hopefully. So yeah, now I can just go get building this. So yeah, guess we can now get into a time lapse then. As you can see, this time I built Tyler's face, and yes, now we're gonna go try and sell this to him, because this was an incredibly expensive project. And just send him back to survival. Because... Okay, so I have to mostly skip over this next clip due to the fact that there was way too much background audio and editing it was a pain, plus Tyler was being kind of annoying in this clip. So effectively I got 20 diamonds out of him to give him the map, but it was a long process. Like, he did not want to just immediately do it, which was very annoying. Alright, now that we have extorted Tyler, ooh, hey, my voice chat's unmuted. Oh, whatever. Anyway, now that we've dealt with Tyler, that was the worst experience I think I've ever had trying to sell someone something. We can move on to what I am going to do next in this episode. In a previous episode, I stated that I was going to be building an ice farm soon. So yeah, I've decided that I'm going to do that now. And conveniently, there is a large snowy area right next to the system here. So this might actually be the first thing that I end up linking up. There's an ice spikes over here. Did not know that. Is this a gravelly beach here as well? Or stony shore. I don't know if you've noticed this game, but this is barely any shore. Anyhow, I don't think that's snow-covered area. Also, I know I'm rambling, but there's an igloo right here that is just floating in midair, and there's no snow underneath it. Still a trapdoor here, is there? Okay, I don't think there's anything here. Anyhow, yeah. I guess now let's hop into... Ooh, a rabbit. I'm getting distracted. I gotta find a place to put my design here, and then I guess we could start building it. And yeah, see where that takes us. Ooh, what's this over here? Alright, construction has finished on the ice farm. So, first thing I'm going to say right off the bat here is that this is at least inspired by a design that Iskel built in Hermitcraft Season 6, which just loosely based this on because I remember him building that. So, other than that, I did design this myself. So, let's get into the details of how it... Also, I just noticed this. There's a nether portal on top of this ice lake over here. It's got a bit of an underground thing. This is interesting. Anyhow, getting sidetracked here. So the primary idea behind how this farm works is that a player will stand AFK in this farm, holding down both mouse buttons, AFK, just breaking all the ice that forms here. And obviously under the slabs here at the edge, there is water, so that once they've broken all the ice, it will fill back in and start freezing again. And obviously the player will just snake their way through this farm over and over again, breaking all the blocks. Okay, so right here there appears to have been a mistake on my part somehow. Anyhow, I'll get back to that. So in order for the ice to freeze, there has to be a few conditions met. First of all, well, there has to be a solid block of water there. As you saw back there, there was basically nothing there. The second one is it has to have sky access for some reason. I'm not entirely sure why that is, but they have to have sky access, which means there can be nothing above it, not even glass. So that's hence why there's slabs of the edge and that water isn't freezing. And then I think the final condition for ice to actually freeze, besides I guess there not being a light source too close, is that they have a block next to them which they can freeze on. So you will not see any ice freezing directly along these edges here as there's no blocks there. However, this edge and this edge will have ice forming next to it automatically. Despite the fact that there's actually signs here and there's a stair here, this will still form a block here. I guess if nothing because of the signs back there. So that is how ice freezing works in Minecraft, and obviously that'll take a little while, so we have this entire rest of the farm to harvest as we go through there. As for actually how the player gets moved through this farm, you see there's a water stream. Actually, I'm going to spectator. So there's this water stream, or water system here that pushes the player throughout the farm. Now this water stream is actually serving double duty here. Not only does it push the player on the farm, but it also allows for it to be a collection system for all the ice in particular that we harvest and isn't eventually picked up by the player. Ice gets obviously broken here. The water that's coming in to replenish the ice will flush the ice back into these water streams, in which case it'll come and end up in the return line here. So obviously the player's just gonna go through here, ice is gonna get collected and be sent back to here. Now this is the only part of the farm that actually involves any redstone, and this is the pickaxe not break it system, I'll call it. I don't know what it really should be called. Well, basically, obviously the pickaxe is going to take damage as it goes through the farm, and there's two ways that we can really deal with the pickaxe taking damage if we want to actually have a decently long AFK session. The first way we could do is we could actually use bottle enchanting to repair it, but that takes forever. That's kind of annoying, is you have to get a lot of bottles of enchanting from villagers, which is an annoying process. I don't know how some people just do it, but for me it takes forever and doesn't really work too well. So I don't do that. Instead, we opt with the second thing, which is replacing the pickaxe. However, the player is completely AFK, so we can't just rely on them to toss their pickaxe out and pick up a new one. So for that reason, as well as the player having the break button held down the entire AFK time, they also have the other, like the use action button held down the time, which comes into play right here. Once they pass this item frame, they will put the pickaxe inside of this item frame and rotate it a little bit as they go by. Then, once they pass over this pressure plate here, a new pickaxe will be dropped out of this dropper here and sent down here for the player to pick up as they pass by. Now, that still leaves us with the problem of there is now a pickaxe in this item frame. That is what this dispenser back here is for. It will have snowballs in it that will then try to shoot out and pop the pickaxe out of this frame, where it'll then be collected by the hoppers, go into chest. And if it, for whatever reason, misses on the first try, I have a clock system set up back here, so it'll keep shooting until it breaks the pickaxe out of the item frame. Additionally, should either of these dispensing devices empty, we will stop the player from moving, because that will definitely break the farm. Now, I just want to talk about one other thing. So obviously the player is going to be holding down the break button the whole time, which is a little bit of a problem, as that doesn't break just ice, that breaks any block that the player is looking at, which, considering we need to be built out of blocks, that's an issue. So that's why the whole thing is built out of wood, because if you're holding a pickaxe, it actually takes a longer to break a plank than it does if you were just having your fist out, which is another reason why we prevent the player from moving back there if they don't have, say, a pickaxe or couldn't break the previous pickaxe. Otherwise, well, one, there'd be either pickaxe wastage, or you would end up breaking a lot of this stuff by just being able to punch it out as you go by. So yeah, that's why it's made out of wood, so you don't break it. However, there still are situations like right here where you would still have enough time, even with a pickaxe, to break it, but not really a big deal. There's no mobs up here that could shoot you anyway. Speaking of which, so anyhow, now what I have to do in order to make this operational is gather up a bit of snow, which I think that's going to be kind of easy. Well, I need a non-silk touch pickaxe first. But once that should be easy. Pickaxe, shovel even. But more importantly from that, I need to get a bunch of pickaxes for this thing to use. Because, yeah. Also, should probably build a actual proper storage system that, like, stores packed ice instead of normal ice. Alright, I have acquired the, I guess you could call it, stock for the farm. We got snowballs in here, which came entirely from that little, as I was saying, came entirely from that little crevice over there. And then I also filled this side up with pickaxes here. Now, I know this won't nearly last an entire night's worth of AFKing, because it's only a bit over a double chest, and that's going to go by rather quickly in the context of overnight, but it overall should be enough to get a pretty decent result out of this. But before we can get a decent result, we need to make the storage a bit better, so let's do that. Alright, the new crafting and storage system has been installed here. I've actually just put a bit of ice through to make sure this works, but yeah. You know, ice will come in here, get collected, be crafted down into packed ice, and then stored. And hopefully that's going to be enough storage. So yeah, this is now complete and ready for usage. So yeah, I guess let's AFK overnight and just use all the pickaxes and see what we get. Alright, so I have AFK'd overnight at this farm and used significantly less pickaxes than I was expecting to have used. Mind you, each of these pickaxes was only used once around on the farm. Some of them are incredibly not damaged. and some of them are incredibly damaged. So obviously Unbreaking the range varies a lot. So glad I did only this much and didn't go too much more, because otherwise I definitely would have broken some picks and the farm. So anyhow, on to the results. We got one whole chest of pack base down here and a little bit more. And, well, that's basically it. This farm is, therefore complete. It works just fine. Although, actually, how many snowballs did we use? Because I checked the pickaxes, but not the snow. A little over a stack. Makes sense. So anyhow, in the future, not now in this episode, I will probably connect the output of this farm over to the industrial rail system, which is just over here, just in the render distance now. However, that is not now, because I'm lazy, and I do not want to bother with that before I've actually finished this all the way to the iron farm, which was the goal, which will be what I'm doing in the next episode. Alright then, with that being said, apologies for being potentially a bit quiet in this episode. I don't know what's been going on, but anyhow, I'm gonna have to say thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Please make sure to like and subscribe. Check out my game, which I released a patch for, which is linked in the description, and I will see you on the next episode of Coolcraft Season 5. Bye!